Now, all of this is what led to the congressional hearing expected to take place later this week. Lawmakers will be investigating Robinhood's decision to suspend GameStop's trades, abruptly ending the company's rally. Meanwhile, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev has been keeping a low profile due to threats on his life. And he's one of 6 witnesses expected to testify in the upcoming hearing on Thursday. So right now with more, we have Bloomberg reporter Annie Massa. Annie, thank you for being here, and let's dig right in. You quote a crisis communication expert that said in every congressional hearing, every news story, there's a villain, a victim, and a vindicator. Vlad is the villain, and his decision to suspend and limit those trades, they upset a lot of people. Tell us why first.
Absolutely. So when Robinhood had to suspend trading in some of these meme stocks like GameStop in the height of all the volatility that we saw in late January and earlier this month, users understandably were very upset, very angry, and very confused about what was going on under the hood. Now, in the intervening days, Robinhood did make an effort to try and explain what had gone wrong and what was going on behind the scenes that caused them to make that decision. But for a lot of people, it came a bit too late, and they had already read conspiracy theories online. They were already spooked. So now what Robinhood has had to do is kind of retroactively explain what was happening with its collateral calls at the central clearinghouse as this volatility was spiking. And it's kind of a difficult position to be in because you have to explain some pretty complex financial machinery to people who might not be that familiar with it.
That is interesting, the way that you lay it out, and the fact that Robinhood came back a couple of weeks later to explain themselves. Now, before we move on to more, I'm just wondering, how did Robinhood explain the reasons why they did this?
Sure. So it comes down to this central clearinghouse, which really its job is to manage risk for the entire financial system. And if this gets a little wonky, forgive me, but basically what happens every single day is the clearinghouse demands collateral from all of its members, and its members are brokerages, just like Robinhood, but also the other retail brokerages and broker dealers that we all know. And what happened when the volatility spiked was Robinhood got this collateral call that was orders of magnitude larger than normal, and they were asked to put up $3 billion, which is a huge amount of cash to have to come up with. So the CEO of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev, has been explaining in various ways on apps like Clubhouse and in blog posts, this is what happened. This was why we had to limit trades in those meme stocks. And we tried to get them back up and running as soon as we could. But in the meantime, users were very angry about what was going on, about the fact that they couldn't buy more GameStop, and it got politicians involved as well. They saw that anger online. And so now Robinhood is taking heat both from its users and from some of these skeptical politicians.
Right. And so speaking of the skeptical politicians, what do we expect to come from them? Quickly, can you share with us what we expect this week?
I would expect to see the politicians ask many questions about why Robinhood made that decision. And you might see a rehash of the same explanation about what happened with the clearinghouse and the collateral calls. And they might also examine some of the relationships that Robinhood has behind the scenes. This whole episode brought to the forefront some other complicated relationships that Robinhood has with key players in financial system like Citadel Securities. And, there might be some more explaining about what those relationships entail around certain industry practices that might be well known among financiers, but not among the general public or politicians in Washington.
Important to note that, because other witnesses, they are Citadel CEO Kenneth Griffin, Reddit CEO Steve Huffman. They're expected to speak as well. But thank you so much for joining us, Annie Massa.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.